Hey, I'm Jerry, an engineer and lead on the Rocks revenue team. Our North Star is simple: automate deal progression. That means removing guesswork, eliminating manual updates, and giving managers and reps more time to focus on selling instead of admin work. Let's jump into Rocks revenue so you can see how this works day to day. At the heart of it all is your sales boards. Each team and manager will have their own board, which they can edit and also propagate to their own ICs. Every board has a series of tabs where you can see the rollups for the amount of deals that are currently being filtered. If you want to edit a board, you can hit this button and you can see all the details and you can edit every single part of it. Over here are the global filters, where if you apply a filter here, it will apply to every single tab in your board. Here we have columns. This is where you can customize the columns, rearrange the order, pin stuff, delete stuff, and also add custom CRM fields from your Salesforce or HubSpot. Over here is the amount. If you want to have a custom amount field instead of the Rocks default amount, you can put that here. And then of course you have your tabs where you can customize every tab and apply specific filters for that tab. After you hit save, this will propagate to all your ICs and they'll be able to see their deals as you would be able to see it. We also have a Kanban and table view. Let's hop to the table view and let's see the individual fields for a single deal. So you can see Rock supports the table stake CRM fields. We have owner, we have team, stage, all the good stuff. We also have next step. And then over here, we can see that we have multiple tabs. The first tab is the activity tab. From here, you can see all the emails and transcripts that are associated with this deal. Over here is the details tab. You can see this. So let's say you have your own CRM and you have hundreds of other fields associated with like the opportunity object. You would be able to associate them and also bring them into Rocks so you could update them with a bidirectional sync. So whenever you update from a CRM, it would show up in Rocks, and then whenever you update from Rocks, it would write back to the CRM as well. Over here, we have notes if you want to take notes. We have products. So let's say you have a suite of products and you want to associate maybe only 2 or 3 of them with a specific deal. You can do that here. And then of course you have approvals, which we'll talk about later. Now that we've covered individual boards, let's see how RevOps teams or admins might want to set up Rocks for the entire sales org. So if we go to settings and we go under the revenue tab, so the first thing you'll see is stages. Stages is a way for sales teams to define a very linear path for all their deals to go through. For example, you might go all the way from S0 to either closed won or closed lost. We also have sequential stage progression, which you can enable if you want to enforce that each stage can progress in a linear fashion only, jumping from one step to the next. We have risk generation. So this is for risk generation where, like, let's say you want to define your own custom risk prompts or your own guidance for the Rocks agents when they're flagging risks. You can do that here. We have products. This is where you actually create products that you would then associate with a specific deal, right? Finally, we have our CRM field mappings. This is where if you have another existing CRM like Salesforce or HubSpot, you can associate specific opportunity fields with Rocks opportunities and then have them map bidirectionally so you can update and read from Rocks. Let's take a look at the stage validation in particular. So this is something in Rocks that we've enabled. As you can see, there's 4 things, right? There's reviewers, fields, duration, and notifications. Let's focus first on the reviewers. So with every single stage exit, right, let's say I want to move, in this case, from S0 to S1, we can enable reviewers. This will allow for manual reviewers like admins to be able to approve before exiting from one stage to another. As you can see here, we got me, Marco, and Mitch as the reviewers, which we'll demo later. Here is the required fields, right? So like, let's say, for example, you want to mandate specific fields, like let's say the medic from S0 before you have to have the medic filled before exiting S0, right? You can enable this stuff here. Duration and notifications go hand in hand, right? So the duration is like a max stage duration where let's say you only want to have 30 days for stage for like a deal being in S0, right? After this duration ends, you can then set up notifications where you can get an email that's bumping the owner and the manager saying, hey, this deal is overdue. You might want to like check in on it, right? And you can again set the reminder schedule. So like you do weekly, daily, monthly, and you can get these like helpful notifications from Rocks to like basically remind you on deals that might be lagging behind. All right, let's see how the stage validation works in practice. Let's try moving the pallet deal to S1. So as you can see, Rocks automatically flagged that the medic field is missing. So let's go upload one. So now that we have updated it, let's save the deal and let's try progressing it again. So as you can see now, Rocks has automatically sent a approver request and the approver will get an email. Since I'm one of the approvers, I'll just approve. And now we can see that palette has actually moved to S1. So in addition to all the table stakes CRM things, Rocks also has agents that run under the hood, under the background, to monitor risks and generate next steps. Let's see how that works. So as we can see for the Okta deal, Rocks has generated 4 risks that's flagged. Each risk comes with a set of sources so you can always fact check with accuracy. Let's look at the first risk. Okta engagement appears stalled with no active champion or next step, jeopardizing any movements before the October 1st close date. So if we look at some of the emails, for example, right, we'll see that, it seems pretty accurate, right? Seems like our rep is finding some hard times scheduling a project, right? And we can even see that, like it says, is this project still a priority? So it seems to be pretty accurate. But let's say you're a manager who has like hundreds of deals in their pipeline. There's no way you can individually just check through like these random like risks as they appear, right? For that, you're going to look at the Rocks feed instead. We have you covered there as well. This is the Rocks risks feed page. So every single day, new risks will be automatically populated in this feed, and you can see them as they come in. And this will allow you to basically track every single new activity that comes in with risks, right? So as you can see here, we can see that Notion. There's some issue with RevOps leadership having, a pause on evaluating new tools. If I'm a manager and I see this, right, I might be able to insert myself into this deal and, try and escalate it so I can get my deal going still. In addition to risks, Rocks also has the ability to help you generate next steps. Let's see how that works. If you click the auto update next steps, Rocks will essentially look at your emails, your transcripts, and your notes to generate next steps in your pros. It looks at the existing next steps and tasks that you've written in the past to adopt your pros and persona. So it always looks like these next steps and tasks came from you. So after it finishes generating, we can view them right here. So as you can see, Rocks generated a next step and also generated a task for us. We can make last mile edits if we want, and then we can either accept or reject. In this case, we'll accept. So that's Rock's revenue at a high level. Forward-thinking sales organizations like MongoDB and Ramp are already using Rock's revenue to boost close rates and accelerate their sales cycles. For them, and now for you, Rocks transforms pipeline management into true revenue intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about the amazing features of Rocks, please check out our other demos. Let's go.